Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Arbuckle. Welcome back to another video. I want to apologize for not uploading a video in the last couple weeks. I've just been very preoccupied with a couple other things. I've been really sick for the last couple days. I had to get a tooth work done. I got a tattoo. Been watching the Olympics, preparing for school. There's just been so many other things outside of YouTube that I've been focusing my attention on, and I want to apologize for that. But today, I wanted to upload a video kind of like this series that I've had going for a while now, where I give you guys kind of the best class setup for certain weapons. And today I wanted to take a look at the KN-44 because this gun is actually really interesting. For me, it takes on the role of two different types of weapons, right? I look at it as an assault rifle and as a submachine gun at the same time. And I'll get into that here in a second. But the KN-44 is just honestly an amazing gun. I have a lot of fun with it, but I don't see it as a consistent weapon that I use. When I play games, there's always a weapon that I like more than others. The XR2 was that gun for a really long time with me. I always use the XR2, and once I got better with it, I just liked using that all the time. And then the Kudo was the submachine gun that I started using, right? When I used the XR2, I never used submachine guns ever. I just didn't like it. Then I started using the Kudo. It was a good gun, and then that's all I used. Now I'm kind of focusing my attention more towards the Man of War now that gun has become really good, and I've just been using that. But the KN-44 is not one of those guns that I've found to be a consistent weapon of choice. Now, the gameplay that you're watching, I actually went 48-1 with this KN-44, and I'll tell you right now, this is the first game that I used the KN-44 in like a month and a half. So it shows that the gun is good and that it's not just me. I may be a semi-decent player, but this obviously shows that the gun has potential to do really well. And I wanted to give you guys my class setup that I used to be able to get this gameplay and to be able to do good just like this in other games as well. Now, what did I mean when I was saying, it's an assault rifle and a submachine gun? First off, I want to say that the class setup that I run, obviously you can tell, does not have a sight, right? I don't use ELO, I don't use red dot, I don't use any type of sight on the KN-44. And the reason for that is because the KN-44 is one of those assault rifles that gives me the feel of a submachine gun. When I run submachine guns, I don't know about you guys, but with all of my submachine guns, I never run sights. And I have in the past, I did in Modern Warfare 2, and in old Call of Duties, I found that it's so much easier to do better when using a submachine gun, running around the map, and not using a sight. I always run the iron sights, not only because it just feels more natural, but because it gives me an extra spot to use another attachment like quick draw, stock, extended mags, maybe even rapid fire. And I found myself to be really more successful when not using a sight added onto my submachine gun. Now with an assault rifle, it's a completely different story. With an assault rifle, most assault rifles in any game, not just Call of Duty, are meant to be medium to long range weapons. There's always that one gun that stands out in almost any game that kind of gives you that feel of a submachine gun, and the KN-44 is that. And I feel like a good way to explain it is look at an assault rifle and find one that gives you a good opportunity of winning a spray and pray battle, if that's what they call it, spray and pray. The KN-44 is that gun that you can just spray everywhere and kill people, like with an XR2 or an M8 or Man of War. It's just very difficult to be able to do that. With a KN-44, you have that ability, you have that opportunity. Now, if you compare the KN to a lot of the other assault rifles, the KN doesn't have really good distance. It's going to be very difficult to pick people off from far away compared to any of the other assault rifles in this game. So I feel like the KN is a submachine gun in the assault rifle tier. It's just really weird. It's this really weird combination. So that's why I never run a sight. That's why this gun is very interesting. But the class setup that I run with the KN-44 that I actually got this gameplay with was quick draw, stock, extended mags, grip, blast suppressor, and dead silence. So the only two perks that I'm running are blast suppressor and dead silence, and the reason, I've told you this in almost every video I have, the reason for that is because I just like staying off the radar. I like being quiet. It gives myself an opportunity to sneak up and not just give myself away from people using headsets. I mean, look at Call of Duty, look at any game now. Everyone has a headset. Everyone can hear footsteps and everyone can hear your gunshots. So I try to be as quiet as possible without putting a silencer on my gun. Now, if you look at my attachments, quick draw and stock, again, always put on my gun. Quick draw lets me aim down my gun faster, especially when I'm using submachine guns. With this KN-44, because it feels like a submachine gun, quick draw is going to give me an advantage. Stock is just another thing that I've gotten really used to over time. It just allows you to move around quicker and gives you an edge over your enemy if you see them first, or maybe even if they see you first. It will give you that quick advantage. Extended mags, I run the extended mags with almost every weapon now, especially my submachine guns. A lot of the assault rifles I don't. But with the KN-44, because it has that SMG feel, I like running extended mags in case I do have to do the famous almighty spray and pray. And grip is one thing that's very interesting. I never use grip on anything. I don't use it on submachine guns. I used to. I don't use it on assault rifles. I don't use it on anything. But I'm running it on this KN-44, and the reason for that is I feel like the KN has some of the worst recoil on this game. Now, aside from some of the submachine guns like the Vesper, the VMP, those are kind of annoying. But assault rifle wise, the KN-44 is pretty god awful. So I've been running grip, and I found it easier to be able to kill people from longer distances. But anyway, guys, that's the class setup that I use. Hopefully you guys will find this to be very, very successful. Again, this is the first gameplay I used the KN-44 in like a month and a half, and I went 48-1. So obviously you guys can do it too if I can do it. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see all you guys in the next video.